where you've made a name for yourself in your short time as a Member of Parliament is you've stood up very strongly on one or two issues, and what I want to pick up on. I was astonished when I heard the audio recording of a 13-year-old girl in a school in East Sussex when another kid had identified as a cat, and the 13-year-old says she must have lost her mind, and the teacher threatening her, saying, well, maybe you should leave and go to another school. Now, that trans ideology, etc. Miriam, you've been strongly outspoken. Just give us in a couple of minutes where you stand on this.
Well, I mean, it's a hugely complex issue, but I think it's just extraordinary how in probably fewer than 10 years we've gone from, you know, almost everybody agreeing that there are only two sexes, you're male or female, boys or girls, you know, that's pretty much the end of it, to this kind of rampant ideology that is now so embedded in schools that we think at least 80% of schools now have children who have a trans or non-binary or whatever you want to call it identity. And with teachers clearly, some incredibly confused and don't know what to do, but some clearly pushing this ideology, it's become so confused. And I think, unfortunately, the government has not caught up with this quick enough. And really, the only answer is to prevent schools from doing this, to say, you know, look, we believe in biological sex. That's the evidence. We should absolutely be compassionate to children who present with these difficulties and find the best way forward for them. But that does not include pretending that girls can become boys and that there isn't a difference between the sexes. And we have to be very clear on this. And I think, you know, it's one thing for adults to talk about this and dress how they want, of course, in a free country. But it's very different when you're dealing with children who absolutely rely on the adults in charge to tell them the truth. And we've got to stand up for that.
How much abuse online do you get from the left for saying things like this?
Well, a fair bit. I joined Twitter a week ago, so I'll keep you posted. But,
that's a very brave thing to do.
But I actually get far less abuse than the women on the left. So people like Rosie Duffield, Labour MP, who's a friend of mine. I think people expect Conservatives to say Conservative things, so probably I get less pushback than women on the left. But they certainly get absolutely appalling abuse and attack for it, and are very brave.
No, they really do. And for that particular Member of Parliament for Canterbury had to attend their own party conference with security. Absolutely awful. Well, I have to say, I think the majority of parents are increasingly alarmed at what their kids are being taught in schools. And I think lockdown brought it home to us, because suddenly the laptop was on the kitchen table and they realised this ideology that was being pushed on our kids. Final thought, Miriam, what's it been like being an MP?
Different to how I imagined, much more, it's very interesting, you get to meet brilliant people, that's the best part of it, hugely demanding, and I think this constant sense that you can never do enough, but, you know, just have to take it day by day. I'm enjoying it.
And what will you do after the next election?
Well, that depends on my voters.
Miriam Cates, thank you very much indeed for joining us.